Hello friends, today we are going to colour Boot House. Now Boot House is from Fantasy Tiny Homes, which is a book that's been out for a little while now, and I put duplicates with a difference in it and redrew a couple of the illustrations. Now I think this one remained the same because it was a great illustration, and it's been a long time and I haven't coloured it, so here we go, we're colouring it today. Now I do have a sheet of paper and a sheet of acetate behind my page to protect the sheet below it, because I am going to use a little bit of colour marker today. I think I'm going to start with the sky. There's a lot of sky there, and I did toy with playing with a little bit of Derwent Inktense and mucking about with wet mediums, but I think I'm just going to stick with my blues. And when I say blue, what do I really mean? I mean lemon chiffon. So I was thinking of having like a sunrise or a sunset, so we're going to go from like a light yellowy through to some darker blues up the top here, so that's the plan. So this is lemon chiffon, and I'm wondering, do I do a glow like that? I think I want to do a glow like that. A little bit here, a little more out here. Now if you don't have Fantasy Tiny Homes and you want to colour along, that's fine. You can grab the November Colour Club pack, which is what I'm colouring from all through the month of November. And you can print that out on your own paper and follow along with all the colour alongs. Alright, that's lemon chiffon. Now I'm going to move on to this colour from Naples Yellow, it's called. And while it's nice and wet, I'm going to bring back in my lemon chiffon just to blend that edge nicely. And same thing with my lemon chiffon, just to blend. Alright, I'm bringing in some horizon blue. And what I might do is bring in my lemon chiffon to try and blend that. What do you reckon? Alright, I'm going to stick in this little shape that I've got here. I'm going to bring now in a galaxy blue. And of course a little bit of a blend with my horizon still. I'm going even a little bit darker. This is Hydron blue at the top here. And back to our galaxy, because I really want these blends to be nice and blended. Alright, I think that sky is going to work well. So I'm going to do this, what I've done here, through the rest of the sky. Alright, I'm just going to put a little bit of horizon here. And then bring in the lemon chiffon just to get that same sort of effect going here. Now the idea is not to get a perfect blend. I want it to be all sort of splitchy because it's a sky. So I want the sky to be sky-like. Alright, let's bring in that horizon blue again over here. You think a little bit above the roof. Back to our light lemon chiffon. Right, I'm breaking out the galaxy, not of the galaxy colour. I don't have that sort of technology. Just some coloured markers and maybe later some coloured pencils. Alright, bringing my horizon back just to get that blend happening. It's a fabulous noise these make. When I first started work as a graphic designer, they used to call these squeakers because of the squeaking they made when you used them. Right, finally we're going to our Hydron blue at the top. Back to our galaxy. And there we have our sky. I think we've got our sky done. I think I'm going to now work on our green hills. Now I'm going to bring in some of the yellow we used in that sky. This is the Naples. And I'm going to bring in this colour called Yellowish green. Just to give an indication that the sunset's reflecting off that hill in the background. And back to our Naples green. No, this is our Naples yellow, not green. And then to our yellowish green. I'm going to stick with that yellowish green. It's not yellow green, it's yellowish green. And then a mint green light, I think. Mint green light is called for. And I'm going to do the same thing with the blend. So this is back to our yellowish green. And back to our mint green light. Yellowish green. And do the same thing with this hill. A little bit of yellowish green, which I'm going to mix with my mint green light. And then blend. Right, let's do this little space here. I'm going to get that yellowish green. And I just want to have that sort of working in with my mint green light. Because I don't just want a flat slab of colour. Right, now I'm bringing in my mint green light. And back to our yellowish green. Well, let's go a little bit darker. Let's go with a mint green. Just under our boot. Just to give it a little bit of texture in different places. Green light. I'm going to throw a little bit more of that yellowish green in, just to see what that does in the midst of things. Alright, this is our yellowish green. I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. Alright, now I'm adding in my mint green light. We'll put some here. And just blend that. Well, a little bit of mint green light again. Right, now I want to be careful around this lady, so I'm going to try and not flood everything. It's tough with those backgrounds when you're trying to blend and you want to get all the nice blends happening, but then you're pumping the page full of the alcohol, so it's spreading the colour into everything that you don't want to yet colour. But I thought if I do it first, those big backgrounds, then I've got all the details to bring in later, and we can sort of look at fixing up anything that happens with bleed. So I'm just being careful around the old lady who lives in the shoe. Firstly because she's old, but secondly because I don't want to colour her green. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of mint green in. I'm just going to bring back that yellowish green. And just bring in some more of that mint green. Let's grab some mint green. Put some mint green into our little pine trees in the background here. I'm bringing a darker green now. This is a forest green, and that's going to give me the ability to add some shadows to my pine trees. They're not palm trees, they're pine trees. I don't know old ladies that live in shoes live in the same place that palm trees live. I could be wrong. Now I've got this yellowish green. Let's bring it back in for the leaves of this tree. I'm just going to bring in a leaf green, which is along the same lines, but it's a bit of a darker colour, just to mix that. And back to our leaf green. Yellowish green. A little bit of leaf green. To a yellowish green. I'm just using this yellowish green to fix up some of those edges where the bleed occurred. If I just keep going, it'll bleed out into the sky just like that. Maybe I went too far there. And this is our leaf green. Right, I've got that leaf green. Now I'm just going to look at the leaves of all of the little pot plants we've got here. Not sure what that is. That looks like an iris maybe. This is a geranium. No, not a geranium. Gerbera. There you go. It came eventually. These look like they could be petunias or something up here. I think that's all our pot plants. Well, let's get some mint green light just to add some accents. Do some of those. All right, you'll be happy to know, people, we're putting away the green. Putting away the green markers. All right, let's look at this boot. That's the next big colour block. And I think we're going to have a red boot. The red will work well contrasting with the green, and yellows will sort of complement that. So let's bring out a red. What have we got? What have we got for red? This red scarlet. I'm going to start with a scarlet. And I think this could be a leather. So it's sort of a leathery looking boot. So I'm going to leave that as a leather boot, but I want all of these parts of the boot to be red. So what have we got? I need to be detailed here, don't I? Let's get the scarlet in on the fine nib. I'm going to add to my scarlet this colour called Vermilion, which is a little bit darker. I'm going to bring in a darker one still. This is Geranium. And they look like old worn leather boots, so let's give them that old sort of worn look. All right, let's keep going. Let's bring out that scarlet. Looks like a work boot, doesn't it? I was going to build a house out of a boot. Would I want a work boot? An old work boot? Maybe it's a new work boot that's just weathered. I think I'd choose a boot that was maybe had like an office life, not one that was out working hard in the yard. Now this is our Vermilion. Just going to add some lovely texture and little bits of dark and even some geranium in that mix. All right, let's get back to our scarlet. I think we can see a little bit of scarlet in here. Now I only have one more colour along to do in November, which is a page from Dragon's Dreams, which is called Winter. Which is going to be fun. It's one of my favourite dragons. Now it's got the challenge of colouring snow. Alright, this is our Vermilion. We're just going to give ourselves some texture and colour and shadows. And some geranium. Just to really give our shadows some pronounced areas. Alright, that's our red. Now let's pick out a leather colour. Well, I think we should start with mushroom white. Oh, let's go with milk tea multi. That's a favourite. Milk tea multi and brown grey. Okay, this is our milk tea multi. Just going to go with a thicker nib. Alright, now while that's still nice and wet, let's just bring our brown grey in. Yeah, brown grey. I'm just going to bring in a little bit of this colour called cream colour in, just to sort of use it as a coloured almost blender, colourless blender, but with colour in it. Suck some of that colour out. So this is the cream colour. This is our milk tea multi. And then some brown grey. Yeah, a little bit of cream colour. Some milk tea multi. Some brown grey. Now we've got these seams, which I'm thinking are exposed leather. So let's get with our cream colour up those seams. Well, let's get our milk tea multi on there. And then some brown grey. All right, let's get some of that cream colour into these shoelaces. This one's sort of draped over the front door there. All right, this is a colour called Rose Beige. And let's play with it here, see what it looks like. So it looks like terracotta, doesn't it? You can do this little thing, that colour too. And then this is a colour called Red Bean. Got before, this is our Naples yellow. And if we then throw in some of that Rose Beige, to our Naples yellow, and a little bit of Rose Beige. Right, let's bring in our Rose Beige again. Some shadows in amongst that yellow. I think we're bringing in our geranium. So that little bit of boot that's probably showing through there. I think we need a forest green for our door. Yeah, I like that green. Maybe we do our windows that green. Yeah, it needs a bit of a contrast, doesn't it? Certainly these shutters are going to be that beautiful green, that forest green. And I even think this planter box. Where's my mint green? I'm going to bring that in. All right, forest green, let's get some dark into that we just did. This is my red bean. I just realised these steps are quite large compared to that lady. But then this boot's quite large compared to that lady, so we're living in a land of where size is not relative. Well, let's bring out our Naples yellow again. And this is our rose beige. Right, Naples yellow. That looks like a wooden beam. I'll leave those eaves sort of white. We'll come back in with an eave colour later. But all of this, I think, is sort of like a pine. Alright, let's bring in our rose beige. Bring some life into all that we just did. Alright, this is our red bean. Mix that up a bit with our rose beige. Alright, I'm going to bring that cream colour in for our little bits of Eve and inside stuff that's going on. Bit of cream colour. And I think we need rose beige on this tree. And I'm going to bring some red bean in because that's nice and shadowy. Alright, this is a yellow grey 10. Got some smoke happening here. And then I think we need a yellow grey 051. And I think some yellow grey 10 might do well down here. And the 051 yellow grey. Yellow grey 10. And we'll get these little eyelets with that yellow grey 10. And even this higgledy-piggledy flue that's happening here. Alright, yellow grey 051. Right, this is cream colour. We missed a bit of a shoelace there. Well, let's go sunflower. This is sunflower. We're going to make this gerbera. Nice and bright yellow. And I think this lady we're going to put in a blue dress. So we're going to start with our horizon blue. I'm going to leave her apron white or lighter. And she's got a vest on, so that's our horizon. This is our galaxy. These are the colours we used in the sky. You may recognise them. Now let's throw a bit of pastel peach for skin tones. I mean, what do you think? Yellow grey 010 for some hair. And I think we're going to bring in some red bean for the shaft of our umbrella, which leaves only our little umbrella, which I think I'm going to do scarlet. And then some little geranium. Well, this is a carmine red. Going to give her a carmine red apron and buttons. Some of that Naples yellow in her vest. And some brown grey. Maybe even brown grey for her shoes. Alright, let's get some of that yellow grey 010. These look like river pebbles, don't they? We'll do them greyish. We'll throw some of that yellow grey 051. I think sunflower is going to go well on that little thing. I think maybe some of these could be sunflower as well. I think galaxy blue for our little iris here. With a little bit of hydron. Alright, I'm going to bring in some pencils, but before I do that, I'm just carrying my jelly roll because I want to fix up the little bleeds that I've got along my edges here. Got a little bit too vigorous with my sky. All right. Going to add back in the bits of white on our iris. And I think while we've got this out, let's add in our white spots for our little mushroom umbrella here. All right, I'm going to bring in some Polychromos. This is a terracotta. And I'm going to bring in also this light yellow ochre. A light yellow ochre would go well around here. I'm going to add some terracotta in. And I'm going to bring that light yellow ochre. Yeah, a little bit there. I think something lighter. Let's bring some. Let's just go straight to the cadmium yellow. Let's go cadmium yellow. And bring out some glow on that woodwork. A little bit of terracotta. Some of that cadmium yellow. Back to our terracotta. Yeah, this is a light yellow ochre. And mix that with our terracotta. Some burnt ochre in there as well. And this is a dark red. Just want to add some shadow. Alright, this is some white. Let's add some highlights in. Oh, this is a walnut brown. Just want to add a little bit more to our tree. Right, let's do a little bit of cobalt turquoise. A little bit of colour in our windows. Yeah, I just want to blend that with the colourless blender. Alright, I've got a chrome oxide green here. Let's just add a little bit of shadow. And colourless blend that. I'm going to use some of that cobalt turquoise just in the glasses and other parts. Right, I'm going to some of this green, chrome oxide green, just up in here, and we'll add a bit of shadow. And I do want to blend that again. Alright, just going to play with the burnt ochre a bit on these shoelaces. Chrome oxide green, I really want some shadows inside this areas. Well, yeah, I think we'll call that finished. That's the boot house, and that's from Fantasy Tiny Homes. Well, lots of colour, lots of fun. You know, a red boot with our little lady, and I think it's I'm really liking this sky. Red boot in the sky. I think that's what we're loving about this, and the sort of the greeny thing here. So yeah, lots of fun to colour. Thanks so much, guys, for watching. I hope you enjoyed colouring along today with me in the boot house, and it was fun to get back to Fantasy Tiny Homes and do a page from that. Well, I'm going to say goodbye for now, but no doubt I'm going to see you in another video, and I really appreciate you watching. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. Leave a comment below, and I shall see you later. Bye.